Hi everyone, Ash here. Today I'm going to be talking about a little old show from the early 2000s by the name of Kyo Kara Maoh, or Demon King Mao. I'm the Demon King Mao, I believe the English translation is. Now, Mao is something I knew nothing about. I hadn't even heard of it in so much as passing before watching it. Not anywhere had I ever heard anyone mention it, so for me it was a completely new thing. The reason I did start watching it is because a friend mentioned it to me, and I found it on Anime Lab, and I was like, okay, this looks fun. I'm into it. And one of the selling points that she told me about was that it was basically kind of like a reverse harem, or just a harem, but the guy's harem is just a bunch of guys. It's weird, but it's also fun, and that's why I wanted to talk about it today. Unfortunately, its massive episode span and lack of plot for quite a lot of the show can bring it down for some people. It isn't something you can avoid, and so it's the kind of show that's nice to watch in the background or to multitask to if you prefer. There is always the option to skip the filler episodes too, but a lot of the characters that don't offer much to the overall plot from these episodes can show up later for appearances as well. It's a kind of thing that differs from person to person, so I can't really comment on it, only suggest how to either power through or enjoy the simple fun of the character interactions. I thoroughly enjoyed this series, and I would like to talk about it in some aspects of it and its characters. Not many people know about Kyo Kara Maoh to my knowledge, and I want to take the opportunity to shed some light on this hidden gem. Isekai and time traveling. So, Kyo Kara Maoh feels very unique, especially for its time. There are certain aspects you can link to other manga and anime, of course. It can easily compete as one of the first in the genre known as the Isekai, where a protagonist gets sent to another alternative world in some way. Mao feels a lot more like Inuyasha in that aspect, where Kagome in that anime travels frequently and freely between the worlds. Yuri does the same. His family is somewhat relevant to his status as king, and they are in it a lot more towards the end as well. But ultimately, his family don't play into the story quite as much as the characters he meets in the demon world. But when Kagome actively chooses to travel between the worlds, Yuri instead has almost zero control over his transportation. He is summoned to and from the demon world instead of actively making it his own decision. Now let's talk about those gays. Okay, for 2002, this series feels surprisingly modern with its representation. I am of course talking about the absolutely brilliant relationship between Yuri and Wolfram. Wolfram's introduction with the tableware and its significance to marriage and duels is fantastic, and in fact gets referenced again in a later episode involving Wolfram as well. It sets Wolfram up to be an annoying brat who will oppose Yuri only to trip him up mere seconds later when Yuri promptly goes Demon King and kicks his ass in the second episode. The way it does this, with Yuri slapping him, which is the Demon Tribe act of proposal, and Wolfram throwing down his cutlery in declaration of a duel, is both entertaining and sets Wolfram's place in the group up very quickly. In fact, Wolfram ends up sleeping in Yuri's room for the majority of the series, and him complaining about Yuri not doing enough for him as fiancé. And towards the end, Wolfram's upright attitude translates to him telling Yuri not to get hurt or die because his beloved fiancé is waiting. It's basically never a dull episode if Wolfram is around. Now, let's talk about the main gang and their relationships to Yuri. Each one has a form of custodianship with Yuri, with their own methods and connections to the king. I just want to give a little bit of background on them and some thoughts. Conrad, from the beginning, serves as both Yuri's main guardian and a convenient world-building device. He has all of the knowledge of the demon tribes and regions, and so has an answer for every question Yuri seems to have. Especially in the beginning, he's basically Yuri's walking encyclopedia of all things demon. His sweet loving nature makes him just such a cutie to watch, and later on when some plot stuff happens, he does more to the story outside of Yuri fanboy number 1, and in turn, Yuri develops more with him, learning to rely less on his godfather but still reach out for help when he needs it. Gunter is the teacher character. He exists to give detailed exposition on a lot of the magical qualities of the Demon Kingdom, and also just to fawn over Yuri a lot. Which, let's face it, we all want to do. Gunter be the insert character of our dreams. He also has some great comedy elements to him, and is frequently the one who breaks serious character to say or perform something of a comedy act. Wolfram is possibly the greatest addition to the show. From the beginning, he is set up to be almost a rival or fighting figure to clash with Yuri a lot, but then he's immediately turned into a friend and ally after just one fight. He still shows off his strength and fights occasionally, but his main job is Yuri cheerleader number 1, and it shows in a good way. I love how dedicated he is to his fiancée, and that's right, fiancée. They're planned to get married from the beginning, and it is gorgeous and so cute how they go about their relationship. and just how much fun and excitement he brings to the group is just an added bonus. He is possibly the one thing that I cared about the most in this series. Everyone else was great, but Wolfram really made it for me. Gwendol is your typical big tough guy, the tall, silent type who breathes a lot and has little to say. But my god, his obsession with cute little things is as adorable as the plushies he collects. There's just something about big tough guys that have a soft, small spot for something cute or something small that works in perfect harmony. There are some plot elements with him and his family later, and he does a fair bit with the others once the box plot comes in, but especially in the beginning, he has a fun guardian role. So basically, there's bound to be some kind of likable trait you enjoy in one of these characters, and if not, they work all together in a beautiful, huge connected network of basically just Yuri love. Everyone loves Yuri because he's the best, and it's not even a kind of Mary Sue, Gary Stew kind of thing. It's more just everybody has something that they like about Yuri and it works and it's fun, and just seeing everybody fawn over him basically, but not in a weird way. It's just really fun. I can't recommend this show enough. Even if you feel you're sick of the saturation in the isekai genre at the moment, I would say it's worth checking out for the history and general charm the show gives. If you're a fan of 2000s anime style, this one is for you too. All of the characters grow on you so fast, and then you have so many episodes to watch for these wonderful people who just really love their king and get along well. Go give Kyo Kara Maoh a chance and find out what this hidden gem has to offer. Thanks for watching, and take care of yourself. This is Ash, signing out.